Hello, Facebook. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. It is Saturday, the 30th of May, 2020. I am Carl Armstrong. As you can see, let me change my banner here. I don't even want to represent myself like that. But let me tell you, uh, I want to talk about this thing we're going through right now with the riots, the death of Mr. Floyd in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the tension, uh, the protest. There's so much I want to say. I stayed off of the air over the last couple of days because I just was not composed enough to come and speak to you and not allow the anger to speak. I'm so angry and I'm so hurt. It was disgusting what we saw in the murder of Mr. Floyd in Minneapolis. I was so disturbed to watch a police officer who knew that he was being filmed not only just put his knee on Mr. Floyd's neck, but if you watch the video, he purposely shifted himself so that all of his weight was on Mr. Floyd's neck. He did that with people pleading for him to please get off of the man's neck. The man pleaded for him to get off. And then there are three other officers right there, and nobody says anything to him. From the video that was available so far, we saw that Mr. Floyd was, from what I saw, compliant. All this over I believe it was either a forged check or a phony $200 bill. We don't know all the details surrounding that. Either way, that man did not deserve to die. Now, let me say this. I know that many people are upset about the damage done by some of the protesters. And we even know that some of that damage that was done in certain cities was not really the protesters. We know that there are infiltrators who have come to smear the purpose of the protest, and some set those fires and damage those buildings. Now, in some places, it was the protesters. And I would say to any of our young people who will watch this video, you don't want to do that. You don't want to be a part of destruction. Protest, be angry, let your voice be heard, let your frustrations out. Totally understandable. But to damage property and to throw things at the police, I believe that we're crossing the line. But this is what I want to say to people who have become so grossly angry about the protesters. Have you been that grossly angry about what racist police do to minorities? If you find yourself more angry at the riots than you are at the video of that uniformed police officer and there's three cohorts who didn't do anything to stop it, and we saw a cold-blooded murder in front of our eyes, if you're more upset with the protesters, please go check yourself. You got a problem that's bigger than what the problem that they have protesting. I'm gonna calm myself down. I want to say something to all of the non-black uh, protesters and those who may not be in the streets, but you have made your own social media videos. You are standing up to the bigots that you know. I want to say thank you. because I don't believe that this problem is going to be fixed like it should be fixed until we get everybody on board. I think that this particular incident really broke the camel's back in America. I titled this video Enough. Enough is enough. We have had enough. Even though we disagree with those protesters, I understand their frustration. I'm 48 years old, and I have vivid memories of uniformed police looking me in the face and calling me nigger and every other kind of nasty thing, and they had no fear of reprisal. I'm from Chesapeake, Virginia. It happened in Chesapeake, happened in Virginia Beach, happened in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's happened with North Carolina state troopers and South Carolina state troopers. Has not happened recently, but it happened. I remember about 12 or 13 years ago being stopped by a Virginia Beach cop who was younger than me and was demanding that I refer to him as sir. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? These are the type of police that we got a problem with. You're not the law. You are a law enforcement officer and you're not God. And I want to say to all of my non black brethren out there, especially to my Caucasian brothers and sisters, we need you like never before. And let me tell you what we need from you. You know who the racists are in your family, in your communities, and in your circles of influence. It can no longer be safe or comfortable for them to live like they are, especially for those who are in positions of influence. You know, a biased, overly aggressive, racist cop, you got to call him out. Even if he's your brother, your husband, she's your wife, your sister, your cousin, your aunt, your mom, your dad, you got to call them out. Enough is enough. We have had enough. America has had enough. This problem, part of it anyway, got to be fixed from the inside. For every police officer who will see this, sir, ma'am, if you are a police woman or man who conducts yourself like a professional law enforcement officer, I thank God for you. I pray for you. You got a tough job, and we love the fact that you do it well. But I need to challenge you. You know who the dirty cops are. You know who the racist cops are. They can no longer be comfortable. They can no longer feel safe hitting the streets and treating citizens like what we've seen. It can no longer be safe for them. It can no longer be comfortable for them. They must be called out. Call them out. Call out the racists in your family who decide who gets hired and fired in their positions of influence in their careers. Call them out. And let me say something. This may sound a little radical, but we better think. This country has finally woken up, not just Black America, Brown America, Asian America, White America, Jewish America, Muslim America. America has awakened. We see this crap on video and it's becoming more and more prevalent. And what about what is not caught on video? What about that? This crap been going on for years. I can tell you about my own personal interaction with police, with jacked up police. Now, I've had my fair share of interaction with good police. Once again, thank God for you. But you jacked up jokers, your time is up. Now, let me say this. You see what's going on now, right? If we don't make a move now, if we don't get on board now to come together and make a change, what do you think this country is going to look like the next time we see this? and no progress has been made. Do you really want to see that? You got a group of marginalized people, of isolated people. Peaceful protests ain't working. And I get so angry with the portion of America who has wrapped themselves in the American flag with a supremacist attitude, who think they got some type of privilege or right to be in America than anybody else. That ain't patriotism, sir or ma'am. You want to make America great? Then join this movement to rid ourselves of racist, biased, overly aggressive police. There's a lot more issues we got to deal with too. But because I don't wear a MAGA hat, that doesn't mean I don't love my country. I know what it's like to be in uniform with that American flag on your right shoulder. Been there, done that. Enough. Enough. I challenge my white friends. I challenge you to call out the freaking racists. You know who they are. Call them out. Their services are no longer needed, no longer wanted. You cannot serve in public office when you hate a race of people. You cannot serve in public office when you don't see anything wrong with what the officer did in Minneapolis. And what about all of the other crap that has happened in recent events, recent history? I'm so freaking moved and I'm so freaking angry. There are some protests that I can join right now, but I'm afraid that I'm not quite at a point where I can do it peacefully. Some of the thoughts that I've had over the last couple of days are not of Christ, and they don't speak of peace. I understand why they burnt these cities down. I don't agree. I don't agree, and I don't condone it. But doggone it, I understand it. You know how frustrating it is? I'm 48, and all of my life, I've been frustrated to deal with the police. My 23-year-old son and I sat on the back deck day before yesterday and just cried about this crap that we see. He told me that he felt hopeless, didn't even want to have children, don't want to bring children into this world. I got a white coworker. I was talking to him yesterday. I was telling him about what my son said. He said, "Well, brother, I'm raising two white boys." And they told me the same thing. This world is jacked up. I don't know if I want to bring any children into it. I don't have a problem with any race, creed, or color. I want all of us to walk hand in hand. And I'm so encouraged by what I have seen in the protests, because the protests have been multicultural, multicolored, both sexes. I have seen so many of our non black brothers and sisters join us and call this mess out and say that it ain't right. Thank you, Mark Hafer. I appreciate you. I can't see everything you're reading because I'm so hot I can't hardly read. Mark Hafer is a brother white brother who served with me in Germany. I know him and I love him. He's awesome. Him and I have some different political views, but Mark's heart is right. Been right for a long time. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Xavier. Thank you, April. Thank you, Monica. Those who are on looking and commenting, I appreciate you. I am challenging all of my non black brothers and sisters. Call the racist out. Enough is enough. You cannot serve the public with hatred in your heart. I'm calling on police officers. I know that it's not popular. I understand your code. I understand Blue Lives Matter. I get it. But, sir or ma'am, if you are a police officer and you could have stood around and allowed that guy to place his knee on another man's neck like that for 9 minutes and not say nothing, please go turn your freaking badge in. Don't need your services anymore. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Frustration has overflowed. People are tired. For all of you youngsters who are protesting, may God bless you. You're bold. You're frustrated. We understand. Please do not damage any more property. Please do not take anybody else's things. Please don't do that. And when you see the infiltrators, those who you know who are not part of your protest, but who came to pollute the message, when you see them about to start fires, when you see them busting out windows, please make sure you pull your phone out and record them and jump on social media and report them. That's out them. And the cities all over America protest. But this is what we really need to do. We really need to get to our city halls and our state houses. And there needs to be immediate legislation that when we catch police doing this, ain't no pension. There's no pension, there'll be no peace, there'll be no rest, and there'll be no freedom. You need to go from police to prisoner if we think that what we've seen here recently is acceptable. And since we're talking about good behavior, let me wrap it up by saying this. I got a message also for all of my brothers and sisters who are still involved in gang violence, where we killing ourselves. Enough is enough. For all the OGs who are going to get a hold of this, enough is enough. You have the power and the influence to speak to these young men and women. You are in charge of young men and women who are so creative, who are so smart, who are so bold, who are so able, who are so capable of coming together and starting businesses to really protect the neighborhood the right way. That's really what the supremacists and the racists are afraid of, that we'll galvanize that type of strength and power for good. That's really what they're afraid of. Let's do that because we can't ask the police to get their knees off of our neck, and then we go home to a neighborhood where we got to be afraid of the joker who look like us. Yeah, I said it. And if you don't like it, you can go on somewhere, make your own video because you know that it's true. Enough is enough. Let's do what is right and make it very uncomfortable for those who choose not to, especially for my Caucasian brothers and sisters who have come along for the fight. I love you. I thank you. We've been needing for y'all to stand up for a long time. For my Caucasian brothers and sisters who have not wanted to get involved for fear of reprisal, for fear that you'll be called out in your own family, I'm challenging you. It's time to stand up. You know this is not right. And for my Caucasian brothers and sisters who won't stand, who will continue to sit in silence and enjoy your privilege and comfort, please defriend me. I don't want to be your friend anymore. There's no more middle ground. No more middle ground. Stand up and let's do right. Right is right. Right is right. And enough is enough. I have just joined a group made up of people of color, hash pound, hash sign, or pound sign, enough. on Facebook. We're down for peaceful, thoughtful, and intentional change. There's a group of people mostly located in Northern Virginia, but if you're interested, let me know. We have 4 areas that we are chiefly, and this is newly formed. I mean, over the past few days, this is newly formed. We have 4 areas that we want to be chiefly involved in. That is civic engagement, educating the next generation, economic empowerment, and voter literacy. Hit my inbox on Facebook, or if you have my number, you can text me if you would like to be involved, and I'll send you an invite. It's time, y'all. Just like COVID-19 has changed us forever, and we're not going back to the normal of 3 or 4 months ago, this incident recorded with Mr. Floyd being murdered has changed us forever. The status quo, we're not going back. We're not going back. I don't mean for this to sound like a threat. I don't mean for this to sound overly radical. But for the powers that be, you may want to listen. You may want to engage. Because if you think that we're going to take too much more of this, sorry to tell you, what's around the corner from this is not good for this nation. Please hear us. Please work with us. Please resign if you're a bigot and a racist. We don't need you. We don't want you. Stand up. No more middle ground. Stand up. Thank you. God bless you. See you next time.